Family had recently moved southwest, so we were like 2 blocks away from Braeswood Bayou. We were between Fondren and South Gessner. And so because we flooded in 2015 in the Memorial Day flood, we were very concerned when the flood for Harvey was being forecast in the news. And so Wednesday, I started looking online for hotels that we could stay at. And in my mind, I was thinking, we may get just a few inches of water in the house, not a lot. And we would probably need to evacuate to a hotel. So that's what we did. We went to a hotel. And my first thought was we'd stay there till Monday, and the prayer was everything would be okay. But we would just enjoy a nice getaway weekend, and everything would be okay once we returned home. When I booked the hotel reservations on Thursday, because of what they were saying on the television, my sister suggested, let's just go ahead and do Tuesday. And so I said, okay, that's fine. When Friday rolled around, she said, we were listening to the weather reports again. So she said, let's just push it to Wednesday. And then she said, and then we're done. And so that sounded feasible to me. And again, I was just still thinking we would enjoy a nice time at a hotel and just have fun, and never thinking that we would not be able to get back into our house or that our house would be destroyed. But that's unfortunately what happened. It was still wet. There were still puddles of water in the house. Even though the water had subsided, there were still puddles of water in the house. When you opened up drawers, there was water in the drawers and everything, water all under the cabinets. The beautiful hardwood floors that I remember when the contractor put them in, and he did all the floors himself. He didn't trust anybody to do it, and I can remember those floors just buckling up. And that was the first thing I thought. I was like, okay, if we stay here, we're getting tile. I said, because I can't take this, because they were gorgeous, and they were just, it's like this is going out on the front porch. And a lot of the stuff had shifted, even though we had most of our furniture on, cinder blocks. A lot of stuff had just shifted because of just the current and everything. And everything was wet. A lot of stuff had mildewed. The mold and the mildew set in really, really fast. And it just, while it was our home, it didn't look like our home, And so everything was forever changed. And we just, like I said, some things we did not bank on the water being that high. So we didn't put our stuff up high enough. We felt like, well, if we do 1.5 feet, we're good. And we had 3 to 4 feet of water like all through the house. So that was more than a little disconcerting. But again, you have to look at the bigger picture. We were alive, we were safe, and it's just stuff, it can be replaced. But one of the decisions that we did make as we were going through the cleanup process is that we were going to sell our home, because we had talked about this at the first flood, at Memorial Day flood, that we could do 2 floods. And after that, we would have to just call it a loss. And so that's what we did. This was the second flood, and we decided to put the home for sale. Our family and friends that came over to help us were with that program, because as they were helping us, they were like, you're going to sell, right? You're not going to go through this again. They were picking up stuff. You're not going to do this again, right? So the next group that came was some U of H students. There you had the football team, a girls volleyball, girls softball, and then just support, some folks that just were around, but all U of H students. So they came over and they helped clean out our garage, because again, when the water is 3 to 4 feet, it has its own current. So a lot of stuff, it just knocked over. And so our garage looked a wreck. It was, because I always made sure that the garage could fit at least 2 cars in there. So everything was like against the wall, and just really, really neat. So, you would go to a shelf and you could find stuff versus it just being thrown in there like a garbage sale, a garage sale or something. So That was really helpful that they came along. And then I texted and emailed family and friends and said, hey, if you have some time, please come over. So my family and friends came over. Also, we had another group that came through there. What is it? All Hands Volunteers. So they came, and we had another group that came. A church group that came over to give us some assistance. So we had enough volunteers, and every day we had just the right number of volunteers, because one particular day our contractor was there and he had a whole crew that was there, and so we really couldn't have a lot of volunteers. And on that particular day we had like 3 volunteers and my sister and myself, but that's all we could have handled on that day, because any more we would have been tripping over the contractor. So every day it's like the Lord provided exactly what we needed.